Good morning. Good morning to our healthcare heroes, to our local viewers, as well as wherever you're tuning in from. My name's Nicole Traum, and you're watching Lee Health's Healthcare Heroes Self-Care Moment. Thanks so much for tuning in. It's Monday, and we've made it to another week. This week, we've decided to do the theme around allowing ourselves to pause. And I think one of the things that we've learned, if anything, during this pandemic is the importance of slowing down, and how most of us before the pandemic weren't really slowing down enough. And maybe we slowed down maybe a little bit too much during the pandemic, but allowing ourselves to find that place of balance and giving ourselves space to pause. I feel like we're still kind of moving fairly fast, doing things. Some places things are getting a little bit more back to normal, and it's important to remember to take some of these things that we've learned during this time and incorporate them in. So taking time to pause is a really important aspect, allowing yourself to find that space to really pause and soften and receive. I think in those times where we actually pause and we let ourselves be present, we can receive a little bit more. So our week will be focusing on that. And today we're going to focus especially on the breath portion of it. And we'll bring that in throughout the week. But let's just start with a little bit of movement. So as you sit up nice and tall in your chair, you can place your feet right underneath your knees. And as you sit tall, even just start to pull your belly in. So it's Monday morning here. We'll let ourselves breathe. And Monday's a really great day to start that idea of a pause, because usually Monday's like, get out the door, go, do, be, all those things. So allow yourself this space here to just pause and think about where you want your week to go, right? Take a moment here with your eyes closed. How do you want to feel through your week? Most of us aren't going to choose to feel stressed and overwhelmed, right? We don't want to feel like that. So make an intention to allow yourself to feel settled and relaxed, maybe to feel a little less stressed, and bring in this practice of pausing and see how that changes things. So with your eyes closed, your feet on the floor, your spine nice and long, that's it. Allow yourself a few moments here to just breathe and connect, noticing your inhale and your exhale. Just letting yourself inhale and fill up. Exhaling and emptying out. You can inhale through your nose and exhale through your mouth. Just allowing yourself to start to notice. When we take these times, these moments to pause and reflect, it starts to reframe things for us. We remember that there doesn't need to be such a rush, that we can pause, that we can slow down and let ourselves feel, so that we feel a little more comfortable in our bodies and in our breath. Let's take 3 more deep breaths here, inhaling and exhaling, allowing yourself to fill up with breath. And then emptying it out, letting the shoulders soften. One more time, big inhale. Big exhale, good. And then as you open your eyes here, let's just start by inhale, reaching the arms up. And as you exhale, you can bow forward. Inhale, reaching those arms up and overhead. Good. Exhaling as you bow, dropping the arms, releasing your head. Inhale, reaching up tall. Exhale as you bow forward. 3 more like that. Big inhale. Good. And big exhale. Just warming up your body a little bit. No rush. Last round. That's it. And then coming all the way back up through center, bring your arms up, elbows to shoulder height, and just start to squeeze them back a little. Opening your chest, squeezing behind your heart center to feel your shoulder blades start to move. Good, and then keep your elbows back, your shoulders squeezing back. Inhale as you twist to the right, and exhale as you twist to the left. Just go nice and slow here. Moving slowly, twisting and breathing. Feeling that movement as it goes through you. That's it. Let's do 2 more to each side, so you can inhale in one direction and exhale in the other. And then come on out. I just felt my back pop. That felt really nice. All right, let's do a little bit of movement now for our head and our neck. So bring your right ear to your right shoulder, and then your left ear to your left shoulder. And just kind of notice the tightness. And as you move, start to notice your breath. So sometimes it's really difficult to embrace those times where we pause. So we have to practice it. So know that it's not always going to feel really natural. And it might feel really awkward, so just let yourself kind of be with that as you practice it. So just moving your ear side to side, that's it. And then coming back up through center, inhale, turn your head to the right, and exhale, turn your head to the left. Start to notice the sensation of your breath, the way that your muscles feel. That's it. Let's do 2 more times to each side. Perfect. And then as you come back in through center, you can just start to move your head in a slow, crackly circle. Always feels good on a Monday morning. And just kind of notice as you move and as you get those little snaps and crackles and pops, how you can start to release a little bit more. Maybe you can actually let yourself relax into the moment. Good. Notice your direction here. You're going to pause and change directions. Ooh, that was a big one. And just moving the sides of the neck, the front and the back of the neck. Perfect. Let's go around 2 more times. Just feeling your neck and your shoulders start to release. Good. And then from there, just shrug your shoulders up and release them down. Good. So shrugging them up towards your ears and then releasing. Let's do 2 more like that. Shrugging them up and releasing down. Good. Shrug and release. Perfect. And then take your hand to your jaw right here. So in that place where your jaw meets, and just give yourself a little massage. If you want to move your mouth, you can. Mine usually pops a little bit, but just releasing a little tension there. Perfect. Take another deep breath. And then we'll come on out and we'll make our way up to standing. So as you come forward in your chair, scoot forward so that you're a little bit forward, almost like you're falling out of the chair. And then bring your nose over your toes. That's going to allow for you to use your leg muscles, not just your back. Use your belly here and then come all the way up. And as you come up, let's come and stand by our chair. And we're going to start here with our down dog. So I do like to do a down dog, especially in the morning. It's nice to do it here on your chair. And you might need a wardrobe adjustment here like I do. As you come up to your chair, you're going to bring your hands onto the back of the chair and start to walk yourself back. So just reaching those hips back here and start to move your hips side to side. Feel yourself breathing here as you reach your hips back. Feel the back body stretch. Good. And then come to stillness here as you drop your head and just breathe. Inhale and lift the back of your body. Exhale, keep your armpits lifted and soften your heart. Let's do 2 more like that. Big inhale, lifting up your armpits. Exhale, try and keep them lifted as you soften. 1 more time. That's it. Good. And then come all the way back in through center and start to just lift 1 knee at a time. So just lifting those legs up. Perfect. Feeling your leg muscles working. And then we'll start to walk ourselves back. So walking back, stretching out again, moving your hips side to side. That's it. Good. As you come back in now, take your right leg forward and just start to stretch your left leg back. And you're going to start to bring your heel towards the floor and then lift it up. So just pressing your heel down and lifting up. Press back and lift up. Try and keep your front knee bent here. Good. Just feeling that stretch all the way down through the back of the leg, into your calf, into your ankle. Good. And then we'll switch sides. So you bring your opposite foot forward, back leg back, and just start to lift and press. Lift and press. Let's do 3 more. Feeling the back of the legs really working here. Letting yourself breathe. Good. And then come all the way back in and walk yourself in. So you're right standing with your chair and you reach your hips back, do a little squat and come on up. Make sure that your knees don't come too far forward. So really with the chair, what's nice is that you can actually reach your booty back. Let's do 3 more like that. Really sitting back deep, stretching into the legs, into the seat muscles. Good. Last one, bringing it back. Good. And then we'll come all the way back to our seat. So as you come on up, let's come back to our seat and take a comfortable seat, coming back to just start to notice. So now that we've moved our body a little bit, it'll be a little bit easier to come into that pause. So as you check in now, just start to sit up tall. You can take a big inhale and a big exhale and just notice how that feels. Maybe even shift your weight side to side in your chair, so allowing the back of the waistline, the back of the hips to start to release a little bit more. And then as you sit up tall, you'll be able to feel yourself leaning back into your chair. All right, so we're coming into that idea of the pause, and one of our breaths here that we're going to do is noticing that pause. So when we take an inhale, there's a slight pause there before we exhale, unless you're, really under distress. And it's in those moments in between, in the pause between the inhale and the exhale, and between the exhale and your next inhale, where you can start to ground yourself, start to anchor yourself. So we're going to focus on that today for our breath and our meditation. It's called a kumbhak, that spot where you're in the in-between, and it means suspension of breath. And I like to think of it as that. In my former life, I was a scientist, and I worked in manufacturing of drugs and things like that. And one of the things that I would do is audit companies, and I used to go and see manufacturing of cough syrup. This was one thing in my early in my career. And so it was this really big tank, and it was called a suspension tank. And that's what, when we take like cough medicine or something liquid like that, it's mixed continuously so that it becomes this very almost solid, but not solid, right? Very mixed, well mixed thing. And so it just continues to move through in this machine. And so when we do our pause, you can think about that with your breath. It's going to continue to move through you. I think that's a better way than thinking about just holding our breath. Okay, so think about that, right? Allow your breath to circulate through you. And then we'll start with some inhales and exhales, and then I'll tell you when you can pause. Good morning. So let's take a big breath in and a big breath out. You can inhale through your nose and exhale through your mouth for these first few. Inhaling and exhaling. Allowing yourself to slow down. That's it. And now see if you can inhale through your nose and exhale through your nose. It feels a little different. Inhaling and exhaling. Breathing in through your nose and back out through your nose. And now we're going to add that pause. So we're going to inhale, pause, exhale, inhale and pause, exhale. Feel the breath moving through you, inhaling, pause, exhale. Let's continue on. Inhaling, pause, exhale. One more round. Inhaling, pause, exhale. You can come back to a more natural breath now as you lean back in your chair and just start to let yourself observe. Start by observing any sounds around you. Maybe noticing if there's any smells in your home this morning, coffee, breakfast, or maybe, morning breath. And then start to notice any sensations. Notice the air on your skin, clothing on your body. Feel yourself supported by your chair, maybe even releasing into the chair a little bit more. And then begin to bring your awareness towards your breath, noticing your inhale and your exhale. noticing the place where your breath meets your nose. And just following that breath as it moves in and out, all throughout your body. Allow yourself to soften into the flow of your breath. Just letting yourself observe that inhale and the exhale. And even though we're not really consciously making a pause at the beginning and or the end of the breath, it's still there in some way. So just letting yourself notice it. Let's take 3 more breaths. And then you can bring your awareness back to the room. Blink your eyes open, rub your hands together, get a little sensation there in your hands, and then bring your hands back in front of your heart. So as we practice this week, understanding where we can pause, how we can bring in more pause into our lives, we allow ourselves to be open to that experience. And so it might overflow into all the areas of our lives today. We bow together. Namaste. Thank you so much for tuning in. This has been Nicole Traum with Lee Health's Healthcare Heroes Self-Care Moment. I'll be back tomorrow at 6:40 a.m. exploring more ways to pause. Hopefully I'll see you then. You can watch this again and you can share it with your friends. Have a great Monday. Bye everyone.